Earlier this hour, Albert, we played a soundbite of Rob Gronkowski after the game, making it seem like it's entirely possible he played his last down in the NFL. What do you think about that?
I think it's fascinating because 10, 15 years ago, that would have been an absolute stunner. And now not so much. I mean, we're seeing this with football players a little bit more. Guys who've been dinged up a lot, just kind of coming to the determination that, I want to preserve my quality of life when I'm 50, 60, 70 years old. I'm not willing to sacrifice that. We saw it with Patrick Willis. We saw it with Calvin Johnson, where those guys had been through a lot physically and just kind of came to the determination, I just don't want to put myself through this anymore. Listen, Gronk's been very responsible with his money. I'm sure you guys have heard this story before, but he basically lives off of his endorsement money, and he's put away the money that he's made off of football. And so he's done well there. Certainly because of his personality and who he is, I think he'd have a chance to make money outside of football whenever he's done. And so, I think you look at a guy who had another concussion during the playoffs, who's had the back issues, which don't go away, and who's made a lot of money and who's taken care of his money. And you can certainly see where this is something you think about. Now, I think one thing we have to remember is that it's the end of a long season, and a lot of times these are the wrong times to ask guys about those sorts of things because, they're beat up. And obviously in this circumstance, Gronk's coming off of a really tough loss. And so we'll probably get a more coherent answer from him if we ask him in 3 or 4 weeks. But certainly you can see, guys thinking about this and playing into a larger trend with football players where, when guys have the choice to walk away and preserve the quality of life that they'll have in 20 or 30 years, seems like now they're more apt to take that opportunity than they would have been maybe a couple decades ago.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.